Hi BookTube. I'm back here with another weekly reads. It is incredibly warm over here on the east coast of Canada. It was either there for a while, like being 30 degrees, or rain and like 22 degrees. And yesterday it was 30 degrees and rain. And today it's 30 degrees. It's just like the humidity, the heat, fan, dehumidifier, not turning them off because I'm melting as is. Um, I have a weekly reads and a book haul because Value Village gave me a 30% off coupon and I went, I have to use it, right? I mean, if they give it to you, you have to use it. So I'm going to show you what I'm currently reading and then what I bought. So I'm pulled out 3 library books to concentrate on. I read a bit from every one of them and just kind of settled on these 3. So the first is Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Souljah. I am 114 pages in at this point. This is interesting. This isn't what I thought it was. I think maybe because of the lips and the teeth, I thought maybe this had something to do with vampires. Don't ask me why. It has nothing to do with vampires. Winter is the daughter of like the head of a Brooklyn drug dealing family. And like he's like the top boss. And suddenly stuff goes down and she's got to deal with it. And she's only like 17, and how is she dealing with it? And it's really interesting to see her character of what she believes she is versus like what she actually is. And if those two things are going to actually come together or if it's going to end up screwing her over. So yeah, very good. You'll know that I very much enjoyed this because actually there was a book by Sister Souljah at Value Village that I actually ended up buying. So I am enjoying her writing. Okay. Then I also picked up Redwall, Mossflower. It's been no, I was here August of last year, so it's been almost 2 years since my grandmother died, and I remember I was reading the first Redwall book as we were by her bedside. So finally picking up the second one. I'm 96 pages in. This is like a prequel more than a sequel, even though it's the second book. So in the first book we get to hear about Martin the Warrior, but in this one we're actually meeting Martin the Warrior, and he's a little mouse, and it's like a medieval setting, middle grade, but very violent. His books are very violent, but very good. I enjoyed it enough to pick up the second book. And then the other one I read quite a chunk of, I'm at page 100, is I Fired God by Jocelyn R. Zichterman. And this is her escaping the independent fundamental Baptist cult. And there's I know a lot about this cult, organization, religion, whatever you want to call it, through years of interest, personal interest, and so I decided to give this a go, and she's just reinforcing a lot of the things. It's interesting because each chapter she kind of talks about her, it's almost like her autobiography, but then she'll also talk about a certain topic that kind of relates to it. So yeah, where am I now? I'm in chapter 7, going to college. Yeah, she talked about the rape culture, how women are treated, how they're isolated, and the violence that is not only like allowed to happen, but almost encouraged to happen. Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot to to say about this. I'm really I can't say I'm enjoying it because it's such a overall topic, but it's definitely a good perspective that I haven't read from yet. Okay, this is the first book in the book haul, but it's also here because I'm also currently reading it. I just picked it up today. I've only read 10 pages. It is Jesus, the Bible, and Homosexuality by Jack Rogers. And I saw this book on the shelf and I was like, this is like a topic that I wanted an actual physical book on, not just to do, online Googling and seeing what comes up kind of stuff. I wanted a physical book that's been peer reviewed and and everything. It even comes with a study guide. Cool. And so this is pro LGBT. I looked it up in the store to make sure. And he's talking about, he says he talks about four things. Yeah. That it's a ministry, that you should have a ministry of comfort and encouragement, a ministry of supporting marriage and family life, and a ministry of evangelism. 3 things. And so that by following the commandment to love, that we should be doing all 3 of these things. And because it's my own book, I'm tabbing it. I'm not tabbing library books. So this one, oh, I'm still at the very beginning, right? I need to be in a congregation that is related to other congregations. Oh, he's talking about how he feels uncomfortable that there's this kind of evangelical movement that has no checks and balances. And then talking about the difference between evangelicalism and fundamentalism, and about how fundamentalists like Jerry Falwell know that, but the confusion serves the fundamentalist purpose by making it appear that they have a larger constituency and thus influence than they do. Talking about how evangelicalism and fundamentalism are not necessarily the same thing. But yeah, so it's interesting. I can't wait to get into the nitty gritty of it. And then the other books I bought, 2 over here, 2 Star Wars books. I got A Jedi Search by Kevin J. Anderson. I read one of his Star Wars novels about the hive mind and the new Jedis getting trapped in it, and I can't remember the name of it. But I read that one, and so I saw this one in the store. This is the first book in the first trilogy, and I read the first book in the second trilogy. You can do that. But I wanted to pick up the first one to learn more about. They're trying to, one of the concepts that really interested me in that one that I read was how the Jedis are doing with this notion of light side and dark side, and just kind of your intentions are what matter, not the different practices. And then I got this one, Shadows of the Empire by Steve Perry, and this is what takes place in between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So that sounded interesting. Okay, so on to the other books. I bought a lot. I got the Bible, A Brief Insight by John Riches, and this is just like a little illustrated, book about, about the importance accorded to the Bible by different communities and cultures, and attempts to explain why it has generated such a rich variety of uses and interpretations. It explores how it was written, the development of the canon, the role of biblical criticism, the appropriation of the Bible in high and popular culture, and its use for political ends. So that sounded intriguing. If you're new to the channel, I am very interested in theology. I identify as a progressive Christian. I have my collection of Bible books mostly here. There's some over on the shelf, and I don't know how I'm going to put these new ones, but I'll find them. I got a copy of The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. I heard that this is really good. It's a classic. Ooh. Okay, so I am interested in the Bronte family. I really love Wuthering Heights. I haven't read... Oh, and I read Jane Eyre. I didn't really like Jane Eyre. Multiple reasons I won't get into. But I liked the learning about the family in Branwell. So she uses her own experiences with her brother Branwell to depict the cruelty and debauchery from which Helen flees. That sounds cool. Okay. Then I got Stiff by Mary Roach. This is about dead bodies and kind of what happens after you die. Yeah. No. It smells like a used book. Then I got Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami. Just a nice hardcover copy. I only read one book by Haruki Murakami. I like his writing. I don't really like his depiction of female characters, but I think if I go in understanding that, it's okay to read his stuff. I always like checking under the hardcovers to see if there's anything special, but there's not in this one. Don't know what it's about. Kafka on the Shore. It's Haruki Murakami. That's all I need to know. Then I got this, Solipsist by Henry Rollins, and I know Henry Rollins through his music and through his work on Jackass. And to discover that he'd written a book on solipsism, which is an interesting topic to me. I've read Wittgenstein's mistress, and Wittgenstein is like the guy who is most well known for coming up with the idea of solipsism, which is the theory that the self is the only thing that can be known and verified. The theory or view that self is the only reality. I just read that off the back of the book. So I'm not sure what to categorize this under. On Goodreads, it says it's nonfiction, but the book says here that it's fiction, and it seems like it's nonfiction, but I don't know. It's when you get into solipsism, it messes with your brain a little, so that'll be an interesting look there. Then I got this Evicted by Matthew Desmond, and this is just peeling off the sticker. They make these stickers really hard to get off, the price stickers. It's just annoying. Anyways, poverty and profit in the American city. So as we know, like, there's a big housing crisis going on, and this is from 2000. Let me just double check. I don't think it was that long ago. 2016, right? And he's following, I think he's like 8 families in Milwaukee as they struggle to keep a roof over their heads. So that'll be interesting. I know he's preaching to the choir, but it'd be interesting to have, evidence to back things up, right? And I found India, A History by John Key, I'm just gonna see, or Kia, maybe. And this is, I think, what it says, just a history of, can't show that, a history of India, which I'm very interested in. I know about the partition through fiction, so it'll be interesting to learn. I know that's the only part of Indian history that I know. The partition and the British conquest, or whatever, colonialism, and a bit about Gandhi. So it'll be interesting to learn more about India. I think it goes like right back. It says it starts with the first Harappan settlements, and I know there's different controversies about who are the first settlers of India. So this is just one perspective. I just need a basic understanding before I can get into all like the controversies and criticisms and where things happen. Okay, here's a Sister Soldier book. This is No Disrespect, and this is it's called an autobiography, but each chapter is devoted to someone who made a difference in Sister Soldier's life. So I think that's an interesting way to approach it. It's an autobiography kind of through the lens of relationships. As I said, I'm really enjoying The Coldest Winter Ever. So got that. And the last book is this huge book on philosophy from Plato to Derrida. It's all Western philosophy, unfortunately. I'd like to find something that's more on like Eastern philosophy as well, but anyways, this is what I have for now, and I thought it'd be interesting to go through and like just read on one philosopher, and then maybe look more into them if they are interesting. I do have works by Jacques Derrida, because he's mentioned in House of Lace. So yeah, and some of the others, but they're people I've known and kind of studied a long time ago. So yeah, I thought that would be a good resource there. So that is it. Yeah, let me know what you're currently reading, and thank you for watching.